Hey guys, welcome to the next video on shell scripting tutorial for beginners. In this video, we will learn how to use for loops in shell scripting. Now, for loops are also used to loop over some list of values and then execute the command in the loop. Now, let's see first of all what is the basic syntax of for loop, and then we will see some examples. So, there are several syntaxes we can use with for loops, and I'm going to show you some of them. So these are some of the basic syntaxes we can use in the for loop. So the first syntax here is we use the for keyword, and then we declare a variable, and then we use the keyword in once again, and then we give the list of values. It can be for example 1 2 3 4 5, or it can be in the list format, which we will see a little bit later when we will see the examples, right? You can even give the files as an input here, right? So file 1, file 2, or file 3, and we can even give some Linux or Unix command here as an input, okay? And then we have the do and done keywords. In between we execute some commands, right? Now the next way of using the for loop is similar to as we have seen in, for example, in C programming. So we use three expression in between these brackets, and the first expression can be used to initialize the value. Second is to compare, or if the condition is fulfilled, we check this in the second expression, and in the third expression, for example, we can increment the value which we have declared in the first expression, right? So this is the other way of using for loops, right? So let's take some examples to understand the for loop in a better way. So let's take the most basic example. So for example, I want to iterate over some numbers, and I want to print them. So I can just write the numbers like this. So whatever number I want to iterate on, I can just give the numbers separated by the spaces. So for example, I want to give 5 numbers, then I can give these 5 numbers here, 1 2 3 4 5, right? And in the do and done keyword, in between these two keywords, I can echo the numbers using the variable. So I can just use the dollar symbol here, and instead of variable, I can declare any variable, for example I, or any variable name, whatever you want to give here. So for example, I use I here, right? And this variable I can print from here, okay? And let's run the script and let's see how it works. So I will run the script and it prints the number 1 to 5. Pretty simple, right? Now in case of longer ranges, for example, you want to iterate over hundreds of values, this method is not very beautiful, because you need to write every number and then iterate over it, right? So if you have bash version greater than 3, then you can use this kind of notation also. So you can give any range in between these curly brackets. So for example, I want to iterate over 1 to 10, I can just write 1 and then double dot and then 10 here, and this means that we want to iterate over the range of 1 to 10, okay? And then once again, let's run the script and let's see what happens. And you can see the result is the printing of 1 to 10 numbers, right? So this is how also you can give any range between any numbers, right? Now there is one more way of using this range. So this will work from 1 to 10. So this is the starting value and this is the ending value, and then you need to use 2 dots here. Now if you add 2 more dots, then you can give the increment by which you want to increase the value. For example, I want to increase the value by 2 every time this range is looped over, then I can write 2 here, right? So basically what this range means is the first value here is the start value, then double dot, and then second value is the end value, and then the third value after the dot is the increment we want to give. So I want to give the 2 increment, right? So let's run the script once again and let's see what happens. And you can see it start with 1 because our initial value is 1, and then the value is incremented by 2 whenever we loop over this for loop. So every time we loop, we increment the value by 2, right? If you want the value starting from 0, you can do that also. So let's run the script, and now we have the number 02468. This is how also you can do this. But remember, this kind of notation you can use with the version more than 4.0 of bash, right? Now you may ask how we can print, or how we can know the version of bash we are using. This is pretty simple. So you can just echo this by using a keyword called bash version. This is the keyword which you can use to print the version of bash. So once again, I run the script and I can see I have the bash version 4.3.11, right? So this notation will work on my bash script, but if it's lesser than 4, then this notation may not work in your case. And if you are using this notation, then you need to have minimum version 3 or more. Okay, so I have 4.3, so both of the notation works with my bash script. Now let's see the other way of using for loop in scripting. Okay, so instead of this notation, I told you we can use these double bracket notation, and in between we can give 3 expressions, right? So let's declare, for example, I, and initialize it with 0, right? And then by semicolon we can separate these command or expressions, and then in the next expression we will check whether this value of I is less than 5 or not, and then we can increase the value of I by 1 every time we loop over this loop, right? So this is the first expression in which we are initializing the value of I with 0. In the second expression, we are comparing or evaluating this expression whether I is less than 5 or not, and then we are incrementing the value of I as we do in normal programming, right? So you already know how to do it. So let's clear the terminal. I'm going to clear the terminal and run the script once again, and you can see it prints from 0 to 5, right? Because the value of I begins from 0, and it evaluates whether the value is less than 5, and if the value is equal to 5 or greater than 5, then this will not be executed. Okay, so this is how also you can use the for loops. Now in the next video, I'm going to show you how we can use for loops with files and commands. So stay tuned and please rate, comment and subscribe, and bye for now.